Okay, can you do me a favor? Can you send me your contact info in an email?
That was the moment we closed this client. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how we got there. Now you might be asking, Rylan, how did you book this call? I got this lead through consistency of reaching out. We ended up hopping on this phone call. In the following seconds, you will see me on call with this guy. I'm going to kind of just do a little film study through this whole call. And I'm going to just break it down into little chunks. And you guys are going to see. So, let's watch it. Come on. There we go. We'll get a ring now.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, who is this?
This is Rylan. You told me to call you back today. It's about the
Okay.
10 guaranteed leads.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I said this probably, I'm not sure when I called first, maybe last week. I just want to get to learn a little bit about your business. Maybe see if this is a right fit and we could progress.
So, we are starting over. We're a general contractor, and we are trying to go more into the HVAC side. So that's what we're trying to do.
Sure. Yeah, and I could definitely help with that. Just to get a little backstory, you're from Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
And then you want to go into the HVAC. Interesting.
Well, I have experience in HVAC.
Oh, okay.
So I should have done HVAC to begin with, but general contracting, the profit margins are very thin.
Yep.
In that area because it could be a big nightmare. So,
as you guys saw by the text, I like to just ask a little bit about him. I already know he's from Chicago. I'm gonna ask it anyway. We're getting to know a little bit about him. He's blowing it out of the water. He's responding. You'll hop on call with some people and they won't respond. It's terrible, or very dry. So we're just kind of cracking the nutshell right now. Breaking that weird cold call-ish stage, and we're getting to know this guy for who he is.
I want people who are ready to go right now. What's the deal? That's it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And for HVAC, I would assume the profit margins are a lot better than general contracting.
Oh yeah,
yeah. As you can see, I'm just asking small, simple questions, like ones that you probably know the answer to, right? There's a reason he's switching to HVAC from general contracting. It's got to have better profit margins. But just to clear things up, just to move the flow of the conversation, I'm going to ask it anyway.
Well, we're going to be changing the name. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. I'm trying to get it going in the next 2 months.
Yeah,
so
get it going by summer.
Whoever I can find to help me out, then that's the person I'm going to pick, or a company I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick more than one. So, that's what we're going to do. Now, right there, he just gave me a timeline. The next 2 months. He wants to get going in the next 2 months. So I know by sometime early June, this dude wants to get going because it's April. It was April 17th, I think, when I recorded that video. So in the next 2 months, he wants the stuff going. He wants leads coming in. If you don't mind me asking, starting over is a big task, but you don't sound too old, so it shouldn't be too concerning. But how old are you? 31. Okay. This is me just lightening up the mood a little bit. I didn't think he was too old, but you never know. So, I'm just kind of sliding, not really a joke, but also I just get an understanding of, how old this guy is. So, yeah, it was a decent question to ask. Yeah, everything that you've described so far, I could personally help with. So, your current situation, everything's starting brand new. In the next, year to, year and a half, where do you want to see yourself in the company? I want to see, before I close out this year, I want to see myself over 600,000. The minute I start, I want to be averaging 5 leads a week.
For sure. I could definitely get you.
I need to find someone who's going to give me quality leads and not going to kill me with the price because I'm a new company.
In that last part of the clip, you can see me shaking my head, yeah. And this is good because when I'm talking to somebody and they're talking about their problems, it makes it so easy for me because usually, you have to identify the problems and then you need to solve those problems. That's how you're going to make a lot of money in life, right? But He's just telling me. And I'm like, yeah, keep them coming because I can solve these things.
I think me and you are pretty similar, Joe. We're people that like to get shit done fast. And I think we could work, very, very, very well together because everything you said kind of hit on my morals in a business too. I want to show you results. I want to get you results so that you're like, yeah, I can't live without this guy.
I know it's up to me to sell the jobs. I get that. I know that. I know it's up to me to sell the jobs with my processes and everything else. But if I'm going to call a job and I do my process elimination and I call them, or some guys, they have a calling service, or if you guys do the vetting, I prefer that. I prefer someone to say, hey, we already talked to them. They're ready to roll. They just want the fucking unit in. They've got a budget and such price, so on and so forth. That's what we're looking at.
Okay.
I just don't have time to waste no more. I just don't. I waste too much time.
Yeah. No, I get it's hard to run a business and then try to manage social media on top of that. That is rough.
No, I don't. That's why I'm going out and I'm talking to people. And then also with the finances, like if you tell me a number and I'm like, hey, I can't do it, but I can do it this way, break it up in pieces. Okay, what are you going to do for me? Because if you're the owner of the company, are you the owner of the company?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay, if you're the owner of the company, I'm not saying give me free work.
Yeah.
But in my opinion is, I get a job, they want to go with me, but they can't pay everything at once. But they have the money, but they got like a finance or whatever the fuck it is. And if it's something that I feel good about that I want to give it a shot, well, okay, so how can we break it up? I'm not wanting to start it now, but I want to start something now to get the ball rolling for 2 months, 3 months from now. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So if you tell me, Joe, I can get you going for X amount of dollars for $1,500. Okay, cool. I don't have $1,500 to do for the month, but I could break it up in pieces and do that. But that's what I'm looking for. Someone who wants my business, who's willing to work with me on my situation. That's what I want.
Yeah, 100%. I'm extremely flexible and how you want to break up those payments or how much you're paying. It even makes more sense because you're starting all over. So, yeah, we could 100% work with that.
Do you vet these guys? Are you going after the high ticket items, or what is your process elimination?
Yeah, so
that you guys do.
What we'll do is we'll obviously target that Chicago area. We'll go in and we'll ask you, what area you want. I'm assuming it's that bigger Chicago area. We can target specific ads to pinpoint that Chicago area. So let's just say you have some, nice rich neighborhood that is getting built and needs HVAC done. We'll run an ad specifically in that spot, and then we can for sure vet them for you. We can give them a call if that's what you want done, and kind of pre-qualify them, and then once they're pre-qualified, we can send them over to you with other information. Give you kind of like a rundown on them.
Okay.
Yeah, so if that's what you want done, we could 100% work with that.
I want people who are vetted. I want people who are ready to go, who are serious. I don't want to be wasting my time.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want any tire kickers, man. The waste of time for both of us, honestly. So, yeah, we could definitely vet those guys, and we'll dwindle them down, and we'll get you leads.
You guys got to see a little bit of the conversation there. But what I was talking about at the end was how we can target specific areas in that Chicago area. So if you got, we can get even as specific as a neighborhood, which is so cool. But we can target that one little chunk and just run ads in there, which is incredible. And then also vetting. Normally, I would not do vetting, but since, he's starting over, dude, let's do it all for him. Let's rock this guy, right? Let's just show this dude what's up. Let's give this dude everything. So we'll have the client's customers, or should be customers, fill out the Facebook form. That's going to be our first way of vetting them. And then we could hop on a phone call with them as well. So there's two simple forms of vetting clients for the client.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
What systems do you have in place that are getting clients right now?
The problem is I don't have a system. I didn't have a system. I had the wrong guys in place.
As you can see in the clip before, I kind of suspected that he wasn't going to have any systems, and that's kind of the downside of working with, companies that are just starting up or, going through a phase where they're transitioning their business or something of that nature, is they're not going to have systems, right? Because everything's new. So that's definitely a downside, but we can surely set up systems for them. It'll be just more time consuming than it would be with someone that has everything set up already.
Do you guys do mostly, I'm not, obviously you're rebuilding, but in the future, would you want to do mostly commercial, or are you thinking residential? What are you?
We want to get the ball rolling. We want to get the money coming in. So commercial's a big liability.
Sure.
Commercial, you got to have, you got to have a lot more, it depends on what kind of commercial. If you're just doing rooftop units, then sure. But, we've done commercial units with commercial jobs with a residential unit, meaning they'll still have a residential unit in the commercial project.
Sure.
It all depends. If it's a rooftop, then you're talking $20,000, $30,000, $40,000.
Yeah.
For those commercial units.
Big money.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
I could sell them, but am I going to have the manpower? Well, that's up for question.
Sure. Yeah, because you're working pretty much, limited staff by yourself.
Right, and then also you got OSHA up your ass too.
Yeah.
So now you gotta, those boys, they're hungry when they see that.
Yeah.
They'll be on your fucking neck like no tomorrow. So we want to just try residential. I know how residential works. Thing is we just want people who are serious, man.
Yeah.
That's all we want. We don't want to. Yeah, we don't want to deal with that. We just want people who are serious.
Yeah, that's so understandable.
You can just hear the emotion in his voice when he's like, "We just want people who are serious," because that's all they want, right? They want to do their job. They don't want people wasting their time. They don't want people calling for 2 years in advance. They want it now. Let's go now. So, you can hear the emotion in his voice. So. And that's why I said it's completely understandable.
Current revenue, is that pretty much nothing right now? Since
now we're starting over.
Yep.
I'm having the wrong clients. It's about $30,000, but it's these bigger jobs. It's tougher. It's the business is the business for this area is in general contracting. It's a headache. I've talked to. I don't know, maybe two AC guys, two guys that were a general contractor in that area,
mm-hmm.
and they said they had enough of it. They had enough. They couldn't take the bullshit no more.
Yeah, that's rough. So just to be clear, you guys are doing around 30,000 a month, give or take.
Give or take. It's variable.
Yeah.
These jobs can take us longer, but it just depends.
At this point in the phone call, I know it's a business call, but I've come across as genuinely interested in this business. I've asked questions. I've taken time to get into things that maybe didn't even need to be getting into. So, yeah, everything's going smooth.
Depending on how much those leads are willing to spend, I think that's 100% doable.
What's the price? What are we looking at with the price button? What are we looking like?
Well, before we get to that, I kind of just, how much would you say that $30,000 are you taking in profit? Because that'll really.
It's tough. I can't tell you that number right now.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Oh, that's fair. If you want, can I look something up real fast? I'm going to look up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Average HVAC.
At this point, I'm low-key choking. I'm low-key choking right now. I should have I should have went into like, hey, something else, then can I look something up? What am I thinking? But, yeah, I'll make sure to correct that for next time. We're going to go into price and not look up the average job cost for HVAC installation. So, yeah. But this just sparks another area of conversation. So we kept it flowing.
Anyways, how's the day going?
Yeah, it's going all right. Hang it in there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a place in Joliet for a retail place. I'm looking at doing a side thing of renting it for parties and stuff. So we'll see.
Okay. So I'm getting... Okay. I just wanted to know kind of like an average of, how much a complete installation or like an air conditioner installation would be. And it's looking, a couple thousand at least, 5,000 being kind of, I'm not sure what you guys do them for, but I'm seeing a lot of nothing under
for
five.
AC, for an AC. That's just an AC. I'm talking combo units.
Okay.
I'm not saying 15 grand for one AC. Yeah, 5 to 7 grand for an AC.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what you're looking at. But the money's in the install with the combo units or ACs or furnaces.
Sure.
A typical combo unit, 90 combo, 90%er would be anywhere between 12 to 14,000.
Okay. Yeah. That it's big money, man. Sure. And you wanted to know price. What I would tell you on price is how this works is we would connect you through our CRM, which would be Go High Level. We'd get you an account set up in there, get you nice and comfortable in there. And then do you have a Facebook account?
Yeah, but I'm going to be having one for the company soon.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. So we would connect your Facebook account into the Go High Level, and then, let's just say we'll throw out a number here. You spend 1,000 on ads in a month, so that would just go straight to Facebook. With that $1,000 of ads, Chicago's a big place. We could, we're guaranteeing you 10 leads in 30 days. Like, that's non-negotiable. We will get you 10 leads or your money's refunded. The caveat being that money you pay to Facebook, I can't get you back. So that would be, the money you paid to me, if we don't get you 10 leads, which I'm so very confident we will, I would give you back fully. So we kind of just have that in there to make businesses feel a little more comfortable. But, we'll say you spend 1,000 on ads in Facebook. I would say realistically, I'm looking probably between 25 to 30 leads for that first month if you were to put 1,000 in. And obviously, the more money you put in, the more leads you're going to get, the more quality leads you're going to get. But yeah, a lot of people start around 1,000. I know there's a couple businesses that, doing a little more, maybe 3,000 or 5,000.
Do you know if they make their money back the first month on their what they put in after going with you guys?
Yeah, so it's very dependent on the niche, but HVAC, I mean, you spend 1,000. Average job you said was what, 5,000?
That's for an AC.
Yeah,
but
full
if
unit.
You're doing a combo unit, it's going to be a lot more. So.
Yeah, so even if you get one, you get one job out of your $1,000 a month, which I'm pretty sure we can get you more than one job, But even if you got one, the lowest possible number, you would still be making your money back, even with just a simple AC installation.
Now, we've recovered a little bit, right? But he still doesn't know the price, which I'll get to in like 10 seconds or something. But we just migrated to another area of conversation of, do businesses make their money back when they go with you? If they are somewhere near a high-ticket service, or maybe they have a product for sale, you will make your money back. Because it's almost impossible to, put 1,000 into ads and not get one job. So, yes, all businesses make their money back with me.
Yeah, and
And what is your fee then?
it depends. I would say typically we do a 1-to-1, so we charge $1,000 in ads, $1,000 in agency fees, but we can modify that for sure. If you
Now, are you just doing a Facebook? Are you doing Google? What's like?
we do a lot of meta ads, so it'd be Facebook and Instagram. We would run the ads on there.
What have you seen a lot of good traction? What do you see more?
Facebook is, I mean, you can get good leads on Instagram, but you have a lot of younger generations on Instagram. So, Facebook is going to be they run it together, but Facebook is the moneymaker for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, and the thing with Google Ads is they're nice and all, but with the agencies that will run your account on Google Ads, they can lie to you pretty easily. It's also decently hard to track, how much, you send them to your website through Google, and then it's hard to track how much money you get back from spending Google Ads. And the agencies that run Google Ads, they'll lie to you and they'll say, oh, you're top 5 on page number 2, but there's not a lot of people scrolling to page number 2 on Google,
Mm-hmm.
So it's Google Ads are a little more for the bigger businesses for sure, that can spend 10 to 30,000 a month on just Google Ads. So it's going to be hard to compete with them at first, but yeah. I just like doing the meta ads where it's more direct, Someone wakes up, they're like, oh shit, I need a new air conditioner. Like, boom, we'll put your guys' business in front of their face. So it's like, yeah, let's go with these guys. You got any questions about how the rest of this works?
Well, how soon, if I went with you guys, how soon, like if I said, here, I want to get this thing ready to roll, but I don't want to have it live until I'm ready.
I would ask you 100%, when would you be ready? But we could set everything up.
The next 2 months.
Okay. So you need 2 months where you're like, yeah, and then after that 2 months is go time.
Let's hit the ground running.
Okay.
So I would make sure that the money's in the account, shit like that, and then have it ready to go so you guys can, do whatever you need to do.
Sure.
But I need to see results. Like, I don't want to be locked in. I don't want to be locked in for a week, for a year. I want a month-to-month basis so I could see what's going on and then go from there. That's what I want. Yeah,
100%. That's what a lot of people want. So what I could do also is like I could, let's say after these 2 months we hit the ground running. I can give you, weekly or bi-weekly updates on how many leads you are getting. So, you've spent $150 this week, this is how many leads you get. I could send over reports like that if you really wanted me to.
Okay.
But yeah, it would be, so what is it? Okay. So it's April 17th. So you'd want it kind of like maybe start to mid-June. Is that kind of where we're at?
Late May, maybe.
Late May? Okay.
I'm trying to get it going like sooner than that.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, late May, 100%. I mean, it doesn't take... It takes a little bit to set up, those...
Do you vet these clients? Like, do you vet them?
Yeah, for sure. We could, I can hop on a phone call with them if you want, and we'll get them to, kind of like how you filled out our form, we'll get information from them, Obviously, it's not going to be the same stuff, but we can vet them via the Facebook form, and then, also if you wanted us to call them as well, we could do that.
Okay.
And just kind of, what are you guys looking at? Like, we'll give them a note. We'll send them over with a note to you, like, hey, this guy needs a new air conditioning unit. He needs a full installation. We could do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can you do me a favor? Can you send me your contact info in an email, if you don't mind?
Sure.
So I can take a look at what. Do you have any customer testimonials on it too?
We do not. I mean, they're more for social media management, which isn't, that's not what we're doing with you guys. So, but I can definitely hook you up with the email. I can send you over the information.
Okay. I mean, are you a new company, or how long you been in business?
We're fairly new. We just entered this lead generation agency. We were previously a social media management page. So we've been in the game a little bit, around a year or two. We've seen some pretty good results with that, but we wanted to move to something that can, really help businesses. Like social media management is cool and all. Like, boom, we're getting you guys views, there's that, but we want to get you guys money, because at the end of the day, that's what you guys are here for. So.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But yeah, I can, I'll write down your email, and then I'll send you Okay. Yeah, I'll send you a link to my website, and I'll send the personal phone number, and I'll throw the personal email in there too, just in case, you really need to get something across. But yeah, we'll talk for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem. Joe, have an incredible night.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. I'm gonna send this dude an email. I'm gonna fucking freak the fuck out. I'm gonna do push-ups till my arms fall off, I'm gonna give my uncle a call. And then tomorrow, I'm gonna get up and lift, bro. Oh my god, it's fucking cool. This is where we're ending the video. Peace, y'all.